Welcome back to, this is probably a new segment, a video that'll happen once a month, I think, probably. We're gonna go through the changes to the OU metagame that happened in May 2016. That's probably what it's gonna be labeled. But, my name is Future, and we're gonna get right into it. I'm mostly gonna focus here on, wow, burps, jeez. Mostly gonna focus on the new Pokemon to OU. So there will be 3 new Pokemon in the OU tier, which means that you're gonna more than likely start encountering these Pokemon quite a bit. And they seem to have a general share of being bulkier Pokemon. So we'll go right into it. Well, the first one is Quagsire. I think this Pokemon, actually 2 of the 3 Pokemon I think look just dumb. I hate dumb looking Pokemon, and this is one of them. Quagsire, really bulky Pokemon. It's going to be a staller for sure. It only has one weakness to grass, which that makes it a really great, really great defensive Pokemon. It has access to Scald and Recover, which are probably its 2 biggest benefits right there. So it can Scald attackers and then just start recovering. It probably carries Toxic most of the time. EV Spread is typically a defensive one, and it has the ability Unaware, so any stat changes to the other Pokemon it ignores. So if there's a bulky Pokemon there that is set up Curse, it ignores all that, even though it wouldn't matter. And then sometimes it carries Earthquake, which Scald Earthquake, those are 2 great moves, and it's both stab. So this Pokemon is going to do some damage to any of your members of your team. It's a pretty powerful Pokemon that you're going to be seeing a lot more of, so definitely carry some sort of grass coverage. You're really going to want to be able to take this thing out. Depending on how popular it really does become, you're going to want to change a bit of your strategy around. Next Pokemon up is Moonguss, and this is another one of those goddamn Pokemon I just think looks so stupid. But its stupidity and looks, it's pretty useful, unfortunately. It's also a staller. It's going to be carrying Spore 100% of the time. I mean, why would you use this thing without Spore? Some sort of heal, so it probably is carrying Giga Drain, most likely, as well. So what it kind of can do is it'll come in on a Pokemon that it knows it can't be one hit by. It can Spore it. And it has Regenerator as an ability, so it can swap out even after taking damage and continuously be used as, you know, Spore one of your Pokemon, switch out, then force that Pokemon out, or it gets killed and then it can put something else back to sleep. So it can kind of be annoying. It's going to be a huge nuisance, and I really don't, I hate bulky Pokemon that can do annoying stuff. And it's also going to be carrying Foul Play. So it's going to be able to damage your high-end attackers, so gotta watch out for that. Again, and luckily it has a few more weaknesses. It's going to be weak to Psychic, it's going to be weak to Fire. Those are kind of 2 common types that a lot of Pokemon have in the OU metagame. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be something annoying, but it's not going to be quite as fat as Quagsire. I think Quagsire is the thing that scares me personally the most, because I hate those Pokemon, especially since Quagsire, it's like it's immune to electric, and it's actually resists, or it's neutral to ice, which are kind of the moves that you carry as coverage. I mean, everyone laughs at the Bolt Beam, like Ice Beam and Thunderbolt has great coverage moves because you almost get everything at least with something. But this Quagsire, going back to Quagsire, but let's keep going. So the next Pokemon is Zapdos. Zapdos is coming up from UU to OU. It seems to typically be a defog user with access to rest. Again, pretty bulky. It typically carries an EV spread that is for defensive uses, and still can pump out some damage though. It's going to be carrying T-Bolt and something else. Might be, well, let's check a quick common. Heat Wave, Thunderbolt or Volt Switch, so it's gonna be a Pokemon that's annoying, and it can carry Defog, typically apparently carries leftovers. So it's gonna be annoying, really annoying, so annoying, and it does resist quite a bit of the some big threats. It although it's kind of weak against rocks, obviously, but it can pump out the damage too. I think that's the part that makes it scary. It's got a high special attack, 125. So in that sense, it's gonna be able to pump out damage and it's gonna be able to recover, and those are always the two worst things. Any Pokemon that can do damage and recover is like just a headache. Just a mother frickin' headache. Anyway, so those are the big three coming into OU that are probably going to be seen a lot more. Now, some of the Pokemon that are leaving OU, these are some interesting Pokemon as well, because they might be able to, if you play UU at all, these are going to be Pokemon that might be defining the UU meta for a while. Who knows? They might not fit with many teams, but it's interesting to look at anyway. So first one's up is Celebi. It's going from OU to UU. Obviously, you can only go down one tier. It's typically a setter of some kind, a subsetter. So it can substitute, it can recover, it can baton pass, and then it can either carry some other type of power-up move, so nasty plot, or it can go for a Giga Drain to do some damage and hide behind that sub. And it's gonna be kind of going to be a wall that you're going to have to recognize in UU, and it could make some other Pokemon pretty potent as well as a proper setter, subsetter for them, and that right there alone could be pretty huge. It's definitely weak to Taunt, so might need to, I mean, Taunt is always something that's pretty useful, but might be something that UU players will need to look into a little more. Another big drop was Conch Elder from UU or OU to UU. Conch Elder is pretty powerful, especially if you try to, well, you don't want to burn it because it gets guts then, but that alone, not being able to burn it, is always a pain because it's already got a pretty decent attack and your common ways of dealing with it aren't as easy. However, Conch Elder might be kept in check with his other drop, Mega Alakazam. Very fast Pokemon. Obviously a Psychic Stab, great coverage on Mega Alakazam, and it's going from OU to UU, so could actually start getting quite a following in the UU metagame, because it's going to be able to push the damage output in the UU tier quite a bit higher. So we'll see how that goes. Same with Mega Altaria. Actually, this one's another like setup Pokemon that can do some damage. Mega Altaria can definitely get its damage up. Calm Mind. It has access to Roost as well, so it can heal. And going down to UU, these bigger Pokemon, they might not have been able to find a threshold in OU, but they're pretty good Pokemon. And again, it could be a huge threat in the UU tier. I think the last one that was from OU to UU is Sylveon, and this is another like bulky Pokemon that can do damage. Now, it doesn't have access to healing as well, but it still puts out damage, and it can be a huge threat if left unchecked. Now, typically they're Assault Vested or Spexed or something, so they do damage, and they can take a beating, but hopefully, I don't know what type of Pokemon are in UU that carry physical poison type moves or physical steel moves, because those are always going to break through its defenses, especially fast. It's kind of weak to bullet punch especially, so might want to build your team around that if you're still playing UU. And then just, I guess we'll quickly go over every other change. Honchcrow's going from UU to RU. Gastrodon moved down from RU to NU. Aggron moved down from RU to NU. Smeargle went from RU to NU. Mawile went from NU to PU. And I think that it covers it all. So, yeah, this might be a thing. If you liked it, please drop a like. Maybe tell me how you feel about some of these. If you're gonna maybe change tiers. Some of these Pokemon are pretty good. I think you might be interesting with some of these bigger threats from the OU going down there. You can always build a team with them. And until next time, I will see you in the future.